So who here signed up to be a fun lash tech and didn't realise the business skills and knowledge that you needed to actually grow and scale that passion? I know for sure that I did. I thought I signed up to a job that had no responsibility, but when I realised how to run it and work on the business side of things, I soon realised that the opportunities that could come with it were endless. Okay, my name's Kiera. I am the owner of the Kiera Kim Beauty Studio and Training Academy. I am one of the Lash-based brand partners and I have been in the industry for 8 years now. I've been teaching since 2022 and my main passion is helping others after my own poor training experience. I want to give back and give as much information and help others as much as I can. So the goals from this today are to identify what is holding you back from your business, to learn simple strategies to grow and protect your business, and to leave with actions to start thriving within your business today. Hopefully you'll leave with clarity, confidence, and actionable steps to grow your business without burning yourself out. So I want to start by saying it is completely normal to struggle with the business side of things. You're probably in line with pretty much every single lash artist out there. And no, you don't need a business degree to run your business, even though it does feel hard to navigate sometimes. So running a business can be an absolute whirlwind, from struggling to find consistent clients, struggling to have confidence in your pricing, struggling to set boundaries, and all of a sudden feeling like you need to be a content creator to even have a chance of standing out on social media. And quite often it can leave you sat there thinking, what on earth is next? So after doing some research and talking to a group of students that I have taught in the past, there were several common hurdles that were arriving amongst all of them. These are having consistent clients and struggling to understand how to gain client retention, having the confidence to charge your worth and understanding your pricing, having no clear branding or message, not knowing your value and the message that you're trying to send out, overwhelmed by social media. This is a huge one for all of us and it really feels like the rules sometimes change quicker than the weather. Not setting boundaries. Now this is one that you will never know the impact of boundaries until you start putting them in place, and I am going to teach you exactly how to do that. And finally, having no growth plan. Now this might not sound like you might be sat there thinking, no, I'm comfortable, I don't want to grow my business. But do you really want to still be earning the same money in 10 years' time? Even if it's just simply as increasing your revenue year on year, we all need growth so we don't get left behind in an ever-evolving industry. Okay, let's dive into the first struggle, inconsistent clients. Now, why do we face this challenge? It boils down to a few key areas. First is a poor rebooking strategy. Without having a seamless way to prompt your clients to return, we sometimes miss out on repeat business. Second, there is no loyalty system or perceived value, which means clients don't feel rewarded or valued within your business. Third is service inconsistency. When clients don't receive the same result each time, this can affect their trust and their loyalty to you. Also, lack of education. Proper aftercare isn't just an add-on, it is crucial for great results. It is our job to empower our clients by giving them this knowledge. And let's not forget limited visibility. Without strong marketing, it is tough to attract new bookings consistently. Lastly, creating a memorable experience is vital. Standing out in a crowded market can make all the difference. Remember, addressing these areas can help you build long-term relationships with your clients. So let's dive into these in a bit more detail. One of the biggest shifts I saw for client retention was when I made such a small change, and this was asking my clients if they wanted to book their next appointment before they left their previous one. I couldn't believe the amount of clients that said, yes, that's so much easier, and instantly my rebooking rate doubled overnight. Additionally, having an online booking system can be a huge benefit to your business. We live in a world where people don't actually like to talk to people and they like the ease of clicking a button and getting results. And online booking systems can enable this and allow your clients to book without having to wait for a response from yourself, and they can do it in their own time. When it comes to loyalty systems and value, even a little goes a long way in making a client feel valued, and this is what in turn builds loyalty for them to come to you in the future. This could be anything from loyalty schemes to referral processes or random acts of kindness. One thing I have introduced in my business to build loyalty is once every 6 months I choose a random client. It doesn't have to be who's spent the most money with me or who's come for the most appointments, just a random client that might have been going through something or of someone who shared me on their social media, and I buy them a bunch of flowers just to say thank you as a surprise. This builds incredible loyalty and trust as your clients feel incredibly valued and appreciate just a small act of kindness. Next up is inconsistency of service. Imagine how you'd feel if you went to a hairdresser, for example, and every time you went, you asked for the same thing but got a completely different result. Eventually, no matter how much loyalty you had to that person, you would feel frustrated and probably find elsewhere to go. Ensuring your service protocols remain unchanged, updating client records, and having conversations with your clients to manage their expectations can be a great way to manage consistency and ensure that we have happy, trusting clients. Next is a lack of client education. Now, we all know how important aftercare can be in the outcome of our clients' results. Sometimes it can be easy to assume our clients understand this too and are already clued up on what they need to know about their aftercare. Unfortunately, this can lead to poor lasting results, and those clients will then blame the service rather than understanding it is due to the aftercare that they have done on their lashes. Simple steps such as educating your clients during their initial appointment, selling aftercare kits, sending out aftercare reminders, and posting educational stuff on your social media can be a great way to ensure that our clients are aware of what they need to do to make sure their sets look fresh and to make sure that they are happy. Next up, we have limited visibility. Marketing your business in today's world is huge, and there are many different funnels that you can use to get word out there about your business. Don't get caught up in thinking social media is the only place where this is possible. Far too many people get stuck thinking social media is the only free marketing tool available, and also aren't using it efficiently enough to attract new clients. My quick top tips for your social media are: number 1, not participating in engagement groups. This does not bring the right audience to your page. While getting loads of likes and comments is great, this will filter your algorithm to show your posts to people that are similar to the people in the engagement group and push it out less to people that are potential clients. Number 2, repurposing your content if you have nothing fresh. The same post from a different angle and a little bit more zoomed makes a great new post and keeps your content up to date. Number 3 is engaging with your followers and local businesses. Remember, everyone has their own audience, and every comment you leave is putting your name out there in front of a new potential set of clients. Other great marketing tools include local adverts, flyering, and Google My Business page, which can be a great tool for attracting new clients in your area. Word of mouth and also being your own walking advert can be great. I always ensure that every room I walk into, I talk about what I do. You never know when you're stood in front of a new potential client, or even a guy that wants to treat his mum or his girlfriend to a new set of lashes. So it's really crucial to talk about what you do everywhere you go. This has got me so many bookings over the years and is really underestimated. Lastly, not creating a memory. How is anyone supposed to refer their friends and family to you if you're forgettable? Now, I'm not saying you need to become a huge extrovert and do anything wild, but some small steps to make the experience memorable for your clients can really go a long way. Now, your first task is to pause this video here and write down one way that you can improve your client communications this week. Now, let's talk about another common struggle: pricing and undercharging. This issue often stems from a fear of losing clients. Many business owners believe that raising their prices will drive clients away, but this isn't always the case. While it's a valid concern, it is important to weigh up the value you provide against the fear of potential loss. Another key point is the comparison mindset. It's easy to fall into the trap of just charging the same as what everyone else is charging, rather than focusing on your own unique expertise and services. Lack of confidence can also play a significant role. Recognising and valuing your own skills and expertise is crucial for setting pricing that reflects your worth. It's also essential to have a structured system in place. Without regularly reviewing and updating as costs rise, you can often find yourself undercharging without even realising it. Lastly, there's discount culture. While discount can attract some clients, it's not always necessarily the clients we want to attract. Remember, confidently setting your prices can attract clients who truly value the art of your work. Let's dive into the common struggle of pricing and undercharging. Many of us worry that raising prices might drive all of our clients away, but this is not the case. Clients that value you will respect your price rise as long as it's not ridiculously extortionate, and the ones that don't are probably clients you don't really want anyway. If anything, charging higher can often attract a higher value clientele who are generally people that will respect your boundaries and policies better than anyone else. Charging a higher value shows also that you are confident in your abilities and deliver results, which builds trust with potential clients as well. Say that you price yourself incredibly cheap at just £35 for a full set. Without meaning to, you're indirectly communicating with potential clients and telling them that you don't think your work is worth any more than that. Now, who has ever based their entire price list completely off of another local lash artist in your area? The issue with this is that you have no idea what your competitors' overheads are. If theirs are significantly lower than yours, such as rent, stock, rates, etc., this means you could be charging the same but earning significantly less without realising it. Your own circumstance and your own skill level should determine your pricing structure to ensure that you are earning a fair amount for your work. We can also add value to our services within our quality and customer experience to show our customers why our pricing might be slightly higher than our competitors. Another factor is lack of confidence. We often struggle to recognise the skill and experience that we bring to the table. This can prevent us from confidently setting prices that reflect our worth. Have clients that love your work and are struggling sometimes to fit your clients in, then this means it's probably time for a price rise. I also always advocate for beginners to not start pricing too low in order to draw clients in. This leaves you starting behind from the get-go, and unless you do frequent price jumps or large price jumps, which can upset potential clients, then you're always going to struggle to catch up to charging your worth. The advice I give my students is to set a standard price and not be afraid to charge top end to attract high value clients. Then advertise the first X amount of people, let's say 15, get 50% off as a model set. This creates a panic to book because you've set a limited number of spaces. It allows you to then offer that low price point without causing upset by it jumping up to a larger value later down the line. And also, if you get a large uptake on your offer, client number 23 doesn't need to know that you extended the offer to get her in. This will give you a huge portfolio of work to then refer new potential clients to once you put your price back up to the original price. Additionally, without a structured system, your prices might remain stagnant even though your costs are rising. It's crucial to regularly review and update your pricing to ensure that it aligns with your business and income needs. We've all heard of inflation, and this affects us all. As our costs rise, we need to make sure that we are not absorbing that cost, because before you know it, you could be earning next to nothing for all of your hard work. Annual cost and pricing reviews are the best way to tackle this. Lastly, let's consider the impact of discount culture. By consistently offering lower prices, we might attract bargain hunter clients who aren't aligned with our vision of ideal clients. These are clients that pay cheap and therefore don't see any value in your work. These clients aren't loyal, cancel last minute, and will in no way help your business to thrive. Instead, let's attract our dream clients with premium branding and results instead of cheap prices. Remember, it's about knowing your value and having confidence in what you offer. So let's move towards pricing that truly reflects your worth. If this all sounds incredibly overwhelming, there are some incredible pricing calculators out there designed to help you understand your income. One I personally use is Boss Your Profits by Maddie Cook, which enables you to break down every treatment so you can fully understand exactly what you are earning and making as a profit. Let's dive into struggle 3, branding and messaging. This may sound intense for anyone just starting out, but nail this from day one and you're already halfway there. Trying to appeal to everyone can dilute your message. When you try to please everyone, you end up resonating with no one. Focus on understanding who your dream client is and tailoring your branding to resonate with them. Inconsistent visuals and branding can confuse potential clients. Ensure your visual elements like colours and fonts run consistently across all platforms. This can help in building recognition and trust. Finally, robotic communication and lack of personal branding can make your business feel unrelatable and unattractive. Injecting personality into your messaging builds a connection with clients and differentiates you from your competitors. Let's take a brand we all know and love, such as Lash Base. If you had never seen any faces or personality behind the brand and their communication was always robotic, ask yourself, do you still think you would be as loyal of a customer? Remember, effective branding and messaging are both about clarity and communication. Trying to appeal to everyone can dilute your online presence, resulting in being generic and forgettable and leaving you often overlooked. Having clarity makes your messaging more powerful. It's essential to define your dream client because targeting everyone can sometimes leave your messaging being confusing and contradictory. For example, let's say you're looking for those high-value, high-end clients, and in your Instagram bio, you state that you are a specialist in luxury, elegant lash extensions. And then on your booking system, you only offer mega volume, high density volume and strip lash sets. This can lead to be contradictory. Even though they might be the sets that you love doing, you're promising one thing and delivering another. Speaking directly to your dream clients instantly with content that attracts them will help you reach those clients quicker. This will then leave you happier at work with clients that you value, that love your work for what you offer. Next, inconsistent visuals undermine your professionalism and make your brand easy to overlook. Consistency is key in maintaining a memorable presence. Having a set tone of visuals such as branding, colours and fonts, permanent high quality work and high value content will build professionalism for your business, but also make it appear more trustworthy online. Another critical point is robotic and lack of personality communication. Remember, people buy from people and not from faceless businesses. Your messaging should convey your personality and value, building a genuine connection with your audience and again, building trust. This will in turn encourage those customers to book with yourself. Lastly, the absence of personal branding can affect trust building with your clients. Authenticity in your brand encourages engagement and builds relationships. Trust and credibility are built off people, not off logos. A study was recently done by Forbes magazine that found that 92% of people were more likely to spend money in a business where its owners were active on social media. That's too big of a statistic to ignore, plus also personal branding on average generates double to triple the engagement versus a normal business post. Personal branding helps to establish your credibility from the get-go. It enables you to be unique and allows you to tell a story that only you can tell. In recent years, customers have grown to love authenticity over perfection. Offering this transparency and emotional connection with your audience is more likely to draw them in and build trust. We don't need to dive in to a deep, long story time of your entire backstory, but being transparent and honest in your branding and showing up for yourself is as important for you as it is for large companies. Your second task is to pause this video and write down who your dream client is, why they're your dream client, and 3 things that you could include in your content this week to draw them in. Here's my example and 2 screenshots of recent posts that I've posted, 1 personal branding and 1 a standard set of lashes, where you can see the extreme difference in the engagement. First, trying to be busy on every single social media platform can be exhausting and feel like a full-time job in itself. It's essential to focus on platforms where your specific audience are most active, and it is much better to master 1 or 2 platforms than get lost on 5. Without a content plan or flow, it can be harder to think of inspiration when you have no guidance to run along. Having a plan helps to reduce overwhelm, and consistency is key to maintaining audience engagement. Now, the perfectionists among us won't like this, but sometimes perfectionism halts our progress. Remember, it's better to share content that is authentic rather than waiting for it to be 100% perfect. Also, spending hours and hours editing 1 post can lead to it feeling really overwhelming and exhausting. Comparison trap and lack of boundaries are also common pitfalls. This can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. Spending hours scrolling and comparing yourself to big brands and influencers can be really overwhelming, especially if we don't have any boundaries in place and are scrolling at all hours. It can then feel like a second job that gets minimal return. Finally, not utilising features can limit your reach and your engagement. Diving in a bit deeper, trying to be active on every single platform can lead to messy content and eventually burnout. Focus your energy where it counts and find 1 or 2 platforms such as Instagram and TikTok, and focus your energy and clarity there with clear messaging and branding and good high quality content. Secondly, having no content plan or flow can leave you scrambling for ideas. Creating a content calendar can help you stay organised and maintain consistency, or simply jotting down what you want your focus for the month to be and then brainstorming any ideas that come to mind. Remember, you can use other people's posts as a guide, but never copy, recreate and put your own spin on it to make it personal. Perfectionism is another challenge that can cause severe burnout when it comes to social media. Spending hours perfecting a single post, we have all been there and it's completely exhausting. Especially if it then doesn't perform well, and it can leave you wondering if there's any point in it all. Remember, done is better than perfect and consistency beats flawlessness. And let's not forget the comparison trap. You are in your own lane. Focus on your own unique journey and strengths, and remember everyone's circumstances are different. You also don't need an influencer level of following and engagement to be fully booked within your business. As long as you're reaching your own potential clients, then you have already served your purpose. Setting boundaries when it comes to social media is crucial in order to avoid posting and scrolling at all hours. It's really important to have a curfew where we don't reply to messages or open them after a certain time. While simply scrolling doesn't seem that harmful, you're still within your work brain and comparing yourself to others, even if it is at all hours, and this can be really detrimental and overwhelming and exhausting. Finally, you can make sure you're utilising all of the features by posting engaging stories with stickers to build engagement on your stories, and also using the scheduling feature within Instagram to batch create a load of posts, which will save you a lot of time in the long run. Can you spot the difference here between an organised feed with a purpose and a messy one? Which one would you be drawn to as a potential client? Struggle number 5 is all about boundaries, or rather the lack of them, which can lead directly to burnout. I think we've all been there. Let's break down why this happens. Firstly, there's overbooking. We often say yes to far too many things, and before we know it, our calendar is overflowing. Next, without clear policies in place, we might find ourselves always available. The email at 9 p.m, of course we're responding to it, and that client that wants an appointment at 8 p.m, how could we possibly say no? Now, I fully appreciate that running your business, your working hours suddenly feel like they become 24/7. But it's so important for your own stress levels that we learn to put boundaries in place to allow yourself time to switch off. We cannot always be available. This not only protects your well-being, but also sets a boundary with your client in order for them to respect your time and your space outside of work. Self-care time is crucial, yet it often gets sacrificed to prioritise productivity. Remember, taking time for yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. You're putting your business first, which is incredible, but your own time matters too. Finally, the fear of saying no. It can be hard if you're a people pleaser like myself, but it is so important. Saying no can actually be empowering and help maintain your energy and your focus. And I promise you, once you start, it gets easier every single time. Remember, setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It's about showing up for yourself and putting your own needs first. This means you are not overwhelmed and burnt out so that you can show up for your clients in the best possible way. First, let's consider overbooking. It might indicate that you're undercharging, lacking structure, and are pushing yourself too hard. If you're fully booked to the point that you're struggling to fit clients in, or you're desperate to squeeze that extra client in because you need some extra money, then it's probably time to raise your prices. Take a moment to reflect on whether your pricing aligns with the value you provide, and if you're in demand, then it is definitely a good time to put those prices up. It's also time to put a boundary in place, such as a set weekly schedule or set working hours, so that you know when you're working for your own mental health, but also for clients to understand when appointments are acceptable and when they are absolutely not. Overworking not only causes burnout, but can have a direct impact on the quality of our work, which then can also lead to reputation issues. Next, we have lack of policies. Late cancellations and no-shows, as we all know, can really add up financially. Think about how you can implement policies that protect both your time and your resources. For me personally, I have clear policies in place that state to my clients, cancellations within 48 hours, they lose their deposit, and no-shows get charged in full for the missed appointment. I also then give clarity to this by storing customers' card details on an online booking system, so I can go ahead and charge them in full should I need to. Having clear policies in place, such as these, allow me to set boundaries with my clients and have a mutual respect so they understand the expectations to adhere to. Being always available means answering messages and emails at any time, and again, overworking for our clients. This can lead to extreme fatigue if we're doing it all of the time. Setting specific hours for working and communication can be a great boundary to put in place to protect yourself against this. Out of hours replies on social media can be a great way to bring this in and allow yourself to have some wind down time at the end of the day. This also sets the expectation with your clients so they know that you're not permanently reachable. Having no self-care time means we often put the business before our own personal needs. Remember that caring for yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity for your well-being. We need to make sure we're scheduling personal time such as the gym, family time, friend time, whatever it is you enjoy, and treat it as a non-negotiable. Running a business is so hard, but it should also be fun working in an industry that you're so passionate about. So try so hard to not get so wrapped up in it that you neglect yourself and end up resenting it. Lastly, the fear of saying no. This often stems from people-pleasing tendencies. It is okay to set boundaries and prioritise your own needs. Saying no can actually be empowering and help protect you from burnout in the long run. It's easy when you get to do something that you love so much for a living that people mistake your career as a hobby. Setting those boundaries and practicing confident communication protects your energy. It also allows you to have a mutual respect for your business, which will make it far more enjoyable to run. Your third task is to pause this video here and write down 2 boundaries that you can introduce into your business this week to protect your energy and your time. Then bullet point ideas on how you can introduce them. Finally, on to struggle 6, which is the lack of a growth plan. This is something many of us can relate to at some point, but also a lot of us are probably sat there thinking, no, this doesn't affect me, I don't want to grow. But whether it's growing on a small scale, such as I want to improve my income by about £1,000 a year, or growing on a large scale, such as I want to open a salon, hire tons of staff, and set up my own product line, both are important to keep up with rapid changes in the industry, as well as things such as inflation. And I would assume if you're watching this video, it's because you want to grow ahead of where you currently are today. First, being stuck in the day-to-day grind can prevent us from looking at the bigger picture. Also, without financial goals, it's like navigating yourself without a map. We need to set income targets to help navigate where we want to get to and also understand the position we're currently in. Lacking mentorship can leave us without the valuable outside perspective that encourages us to grow. Having someone to guide us makes a tremendous difference and gives us clarity on where we want to go next and the next steps in order to achieve those goals. Fear of risk is commonly the highest contributing factor to not scaling your business. And without mentorship or any systems in place, it can be really difficult to navigate. So let's look into these a little bit deeper. First, being stuck in the day-to-day means you're not planning or allowing yourself time to think bigger. This can limit your potential and stop you from seeing the wider opportunities that are available. If you're finding yourself stuck in Groundhog Day with busy days back to back and no spare time, then now is probably the perfect time for a growth plan. Next, without financial goals, it's difficult to track and understand your income. Setting clear income targets is crucial for progress. I personally create short-term and long-term financial goals so that I feel accomplished on my path to big results. But simply just having these targets alone can be a huge motivator for you to grow and excel. Also, lack of mentorship can hold you back within your business massively. An outside perspective provides guidance and insight of things that you might not have thought about on your own. Remember, permanently reinvesting in your education and seeking advice from professionals is a great way to achieve this. And remember that education is always an investment and never an expense. Additionally, a fear of risk quite often keeps us within our comfort zones. But growth only happens when we step into new territories. Growth can be scary, but what I personally find scarier is not growing at all. It is important to remember that not all risks pay off, and this can be scary. But some risks really do pay off, and this is so crucial for growth. Every time something doesn't work out, it's a valuable lesson. And when risks do work out, that's when the magic happens. Imagine if everyone you've ever looked up to in the lash industry had never taken a risk. Changing your mindset on risk and seeing it as a part of our everyday can really make it so much less overwhelming. But you also don't need to suddenly start making big risk changes within your business. It could be that you simply want to raise your prices by £3. Could you lose clients over it and therefore class it as a risk? Absolutely. And this happened to me back at the beginning of 2024. However, is the extra £3 from the clients that stay going to easily cover the loss from the couple of clients you lose? 100 times over. An extra £3 an hour based on a 38-hour working week is an extra £456 a month. Therefore proving that sometimes even small risks can have incredible results. Finally, not having systems in place means there's no structure to scale your business from. Automating and delegating can become your new best friends in business, freeing you up time for yourself and time for growth. This includes things such as online booking, automated replies, and scheduled content, to name a few. And delegating tasks that you don't thrive in order to free up time for yourself to make more money in your business. For example, my accountant charges me £35 a month for my bookkeeping and to run my QuickBooks. On average, doing this myself was taking me approximately 4 hours a month. I then worked out that this £35 split into those 4 hours that I was spending comes to about £8.75 an hour. I knew if I could work on areas of my business that I thrive in within those 4 hours instead, and guarantee that I'm going to make a minimum of that £8.75 an hour, which I definitely will, then this was worth delegating this task. Even working an extra hour in my business a month then freed up 3 spare hours in my month to work on growth plans and scaling. This expense then became a profitable delegation. Even working in my business for an extra 1 hour covered this expense and freed up 3 hours for me to grow and scale my business, using my time for better resources. Now, if you had £500 to invest, where would you spend it in your business and why? Your fourth task is to pause this video here and write this answer down. Your final task is to pause this video again and then write down when you can start actioning this investment to start growing your business today. To summarise, your thriving lash artist roadmap starts with building client retention. We then need to charge our worth, understand our ideal client and message, simplify our social media strategies, set boundaries with clients, and set goals for growth. On the screen is a QR code you can scan to get all of my best tips and tricks for improving your content on your social media. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly on Instagram at Kiera Kim Beauty, reach out to Lashbase directly at lashbase_UK, or email Lashbase at the address of hello@lashbase.co.uk. If you got this far, thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best in your business.